Welcome to Lawful Rebellion.
Lawful
What is
Rebellion?
Lawful Rebellion? Well, this man here, John Harris. Some might know John Harris, some might not. Some people might know about the Lawful Rebellion and what he did. Some people might not. So it gives me honour doing this for John Harris. It really does. God bless John Harris. And thank you for what you've done for people. I was ashamed that he hasn't seen his dream being fulfilled, but we can fulfill that dream for John Harris. We can fulfill the lawful rebellion for John Harris. We can do that dream what he started. We can finish it. Now John Harris, over the years, has gave seminars, talk shows, of showing people the corruption of what's in the Bible. He's taught people the legalese of legislation. He's talking about acts and statutes, the fiction of Parliament that needs consent of the government. And the only way you can be governed is the fictitious entity. He's taught you who you really are. He's opened the doors to many, many lives. He's helped so many people. He's beaten corporations. He's shown that you don't need to live in fear no more. He started this, we will finish this. John Harris, one day with his solicitors, drawn up a contract, the affidavits 1 and 2, the lawful rebellion. He created this for a reason, and it was very, very clever as well. Very clever. I'll explain why he created this. Because he wanted to banish Parliament, he wanted to get rid of the acts and statutes, because that's all we live in nowadays. We don't live under a common law or restrictions. We live in a fictitious acts and statute world that needs consent. So he found the loophole in the system. Oh yes, and it was beautiful. Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, our Queen of Great Britain, runs on sovereignty. She has the people's sovereignty, that's her state of power. If the Queen had no sovereignty, the Queen would rule power no more. So where are we going? Because we believe that the Queen is held hostage in her own country. She's been manipulated. She's been told what to do. The Queen has one power left. That's right. One power left. And that is to dissolve Parliament. Oh yes. It's a shame that we have to go down this road. But if you want an end to all this corruption, all these acts and statutes, these regulations, you, my friends, want them too. If everybody in Britain did the lawful rebellion, the Queen would have no choice to dissolve Parliament so she can stay in power. But how do you do it? That's where this comes in. That's where this comes in. And this is a legal contract. This gets signed by a solicitor or stamped by a court. 9 times out of 10, it's made an affidavit signed by a solicitor. So if everybody in Britain did this, the Queen would dissolve Parliament. Now, you can use this to your advantage as well. Because if everybody didn't do it, you would think, well, this is a waste of time. No one's going to do it for us. No. If you do this alone, you've done a contract with the Queen. You've got the highest contract in the land. Legal contract. You're above the police. You're above the courts. You're above the councils. You've got no contract with them. Your contract is with the Queen. That's who your contract is with. So when you do the lawful rebellion, acts and statutes no longer apply to you. Parliament laws are gone for good. If you don't want to pay tax, this also waits for lawful rebellion. So any legislation, Parliament laws, as long as you've got one of these in possession, no longer apply to you. If you're unfamiliar, if you've got a TV license, if you've got one of these, TV license doesn't apply to you. I think it's something stupid, but that's what this will do. It works on everything. But if you break common law, this will not save you. This contract will not save you. Break common law. Any act and statute, you'll win all day long. So John Harris found something in the system beautiful. It's about time we use the Queen. Remember, the Queen upholds the law. She swore on the Bible on nation to protect and save, uphold the law of God. We need the Queen to run the country again, like the good old days. Back under common law jurisdiction. No more acts and statute apply once you've done this. But if the Queen dies, if you are under lawful rebellion or starting off, if the Queen does die, we will have to start the lawful rebellion once again. We'll have to do the affidavit again. And then change over to the King. So you will go. So how do you do this contract? Well, step one, you can use 100-gram watermark paper, or you can use plain paper. It's entirely your preference of what you want to do. Now, me personally, I will use 100-gram paper because of the power of this contract, and it deserves to be on a nice quality paper. So I will put it on. You don't have to. I'll put the 100-gram paper link in the description below. So it's there. Now, you've got the originals, you've got your affidavit 1, your affidavit 2, and then you've got your barren paperwork as well. You're ready to go. So you go down, you fill up your barren paperwork, you shove that to the side because that's the last process that's done. You ring up a solicitor. You ring up and tell them you would like to do an affidavit signing. Okay? You're doing an affidavit signing. It'll probably cost you about £10 or maybe 15 at a push, depending on what part of the country you're from, because everyone's got different areas and different charges. So you ring them up, you book the appointment, you'll go down. Now, just to tell you, just in case you don't know, at the top of the documentation it will say affidavit of, and on the second one it says second affidavit of. You write your full name there. If you've got a middle name, you put it in. You put it in on the second one. That's what that means there. That's where your name comes as well. So once you've got your appointment booked, you'll swear on the Bible, because it's your oath, not my oath, it's your oath. You swear on the oath, you've read the documentation, you understand the documentation, you know what they're going to do for you and the country. And you'll sign it, but the solicitor will stamp it. Alright, so it's been authorised, it's been stamped by the legal system. So now this contract is legal. You then make photocopies of these documentations, photocopies. Put them to the side, they're no longer needed for a bit. Once you've got your photocopies, you are ready to start the lawful rebellion. These documentations get sent to Buckingham Palace every week. Alright, I'll put the link in the description, I'll write it in there so you've got the address for everything's ready to go. Now, you can put the postage, postmaster, postal mechanics on the paperwork. One goes top right corner, and one goes on the back. If you have a look at the videos on this channel, you will see a video saying postal mechanics. Now click on postmaster. Go watch that video and it will show you how to do the stamps. Once that's all done, you've got your copy. Remember, the originals is up there. You've only got copies. You then go down to the post office. You send this first affidavit special recorded delivery. Not normal post, special recorded delivery. Okay. You then wait 40 days. You have to wait 40 days, so write it down in your diary or a notebook, a notepad, whatever you want. The reason why you send it special recorded delivery is because you can see that it has landed at its jurisdiction. They now have it, it's been signed for, and you have proof of claim. Once that one's done, you've waited 40 days, you then move on to the second affidavit. Same again, apply your postage stamps, your postmaster documentation, and gives you jurisdiction over the paperwork. It makes you federal. So the highest jurisdiction in the land, under the Universal Postal Union Constitution. Everything in the world is to do with shipping rates. Right? That's what it's all about. You're all playing the game. The video will be coming on the postal mechanics, so don't panic. I'll explain what it is. Exactly the same again, special recorded delivery, straight to the Queen, Buckingham Palace. Once the 80 days, obviously this is going to be 40 days, so you've waited 80 days in total. These are now done. Now waited 80 days. You now move on to the Baron. The Barons are in this country. There's I think 25 of them in total. You're going to plead your allegiance. You're not pleading your sovereignty, you're only pleading your allegiance to the Barons. You need 3 friends to witness, sign the documentation, compound back name, date it. Right? They'll put the thumbprints at the end of the signatures. Right? You then make a photocopy of this. You put that to the side with the original lawful rebellion paperwork. Do not put any stamps on the originals. Alright? The reason being, because if you've got to make photocopies of the proper documentation and you've got postal stamps on the originals, you will be done for mail fraud. Be very, very careful with the postal mechanics, okay? So once you've done that, you're ready to go. I will put the address of the Barons in the link description. The one that's taken on is one in Derbyshire. You can use whatever Barons you suit. Some of the Barons are not taken on, so just let you know. Once you've done your documentation, you'll then super glue your paperwork together on the left hand side. Don't forget these are just copies. You apply your postage stamp to the front, and you apply your postage stamp to the back. There's a video. The videos, but what I'm going to do is I'll link all the videos in the description, so just say around what more there, what you're going to do. So there'll be a video showing you how to pop the paper. You either use brass rivets or weave it or super glue, just nice and easy. You then send that to the Barons. Right, that's it, you're done. You are now officially under the lawful rebellion. Welcome to the club. This is a copy of my original. I've actually got it on there. You can see how I've got the postage stamps on my documentation. So now you're under the lawful rebellion. Welcome to the show. Welcome to John Harris's lawful rebellion for what he did to the people to free the people. Now, what happens now? You've got the originals, remember? Make copies of your lawful rebellion. The same what you did send it to the Barons. Super glue, postal mechanics on. Send one to the police station. Send it to the sergeant of your local police station, notifying them that you are now officially under lawful rebellion. Your contract is with the Queen. Because what's happened is, people, because you've sent your contract off to the Queen, you've taken her consent and she hasn't replied back to you. That's how contract law goes. It's unrebutted. That's how it goes. So you've taken her consent, you've got the highest contract in the land. Like I say, my friend Stuart, watch the video of Stuart in the description. He shows you he's winning 3 court cases. He's even gave it to police. My mate Stuart also sent on it. He's gave this to the police. And he's beaten. They've gone on your way, mate. Yeah. Because your contract's with the Queen, you've got the highest contract in the world. I've used this myself. I use it for next. I use it anything, any access statue that comes my way, this paperwork comes down. I use it all the time. You know, if you're scared about what's going on, regulations, you know, with the government, the way things are at the minute, with COVID, you know, the lawful rebellion is gone. Their access statute is not consent whatsoever. No access statute comes your way no more. You will have the highest contract ever. With the best contract you'll ever do. Like I'm saying, people, we can carry on John Harris's dream, fulfill his dream, what he did. Everybody did the lawful rebellion. They will destroy Parliament, government will be gone forever. Remember, the pen is mightier than the sword. You can win a war with it. So remember, people, lawful rebellion is the way forward. Contract. Biggest contracts in the land. It's been nice speaking to you all. I've covered absolutely everything on this video this time. So best of luck to you out there. Godspeed you all. Take care. And always remember John Harris's legacy. Do good for that man as well. Let's fulfill his dream. Take care all.
Cheers.
Hello everyone. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is nice when you get a thing about this thing here. It's absolutely spot on. Showing proof of playing. You know, a lot of people do have doubts, and you know, that's acceptable. You know, no one's going to believe. You've got to go where you've got. You've got to go sense. Spider-Man.
I did do, mate, until it worked.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've never been this warm. I haven't been this warm.
Got the deck collectors off my back, mate.
Discharged all my gas from the box. Big
Yeah,
bang on my door. No. I mean, if there was going to be something on the back of my door, I would record it and show you the evidence. I've never bang on my door. I mean, I've done the HMRC. I've done how many times now. I've actually got a case on it at the moment with the HMRC. I've done 2 cases with the HMRC for 2 of friends. And I'm leading the way at the moment. So I'm saying you will get some backwards and forwards, I promise you. Don't get me wrong. You know, sometimes I'll accept it like that. That shows the proof. You know. I mean, it is a bit of a weird one that they sent her some money back. I mean, do they know something on that end that we don't know? That's something I'd like to know. The matter of the fact was, they accepted the promissory note, proof of claim. So that's it paid, it's discharged, it's done. They sent her some money back, which was, yeah. But there you go, Prince. I can only show you what I show you, that's it. The more people that come forward and show me the evidence, I put it online and I show the people that it works, that's what I'm saying. I've got nothing to hide. I'm just one man, I've got a good team behind me, I've actually done things. There's so many different videos on here. Me and Stuart talking, and then Stuart talking about his course, being in court.
Now what you've got to understand is when you do go to court, you're not going to get no magical answer. A piece of paper to say that you've won. Come on, let's live in the real world now, because if they gave that piece of paper to say you've won the case, you'd be plastered it all around the internet, wouldn't you? Telling people how it's done. And you can't have the game spoiled now, can you? So they're never going to give you a piece of paper to say you've won. The only verdict you're going to get is when the judge turns around and says case is for prejudice, and that's it. Won your case. Out you walk. You go to a free man. The thing is with the promissory note, you're using legal tender, you're using money, cash. That's what you're creating. You're actually creating cash. Where do you think this cash comes from? From our trust. It all comes from our trust. That's what it is. It's the SDB 1666. The gold. But they use the fictitious money. They use the promise. I promised to pay the bearer on demand some £20. Use that one for an example. The only way you can be a bearer is obviously a fictitious entity. You go look at Black Rose, Volume 4, you'll see the answer. You'll say fictitious entity or thing. That's the only way you can be a bearer, a fictitious entity. So, bank legislation clearly say that credit cards and cheques is not classed as legal tender. So the only legal tender there is the promissory note. That's all it is. I promise to pay. It's backed by nothing. And it is. So when we pay things, it actually comes from our trust accounts. Obviously we put our NHS numbers on there now. That's what I do, NHS number. And my national insurance. So they can access my trust account and take the money from there, because we are worth absolutely billions of pounds. A lot of people don't know this. You can have a look on Refuting, alright? We'll have a look on there, put driver's license number in, national insurance number in, whatever documentation you've got, you can put serial codes in and it'll show you what you're worth. Alright? We'll have a look. Now, with a promissory note, it is hard to get rid of. It is actually. Because it's just cash, that's what it is, it's legal tender. The promissory note that we create has more power than the money in your pocket, right? Because you've created it. That promissory note, which the cash is, we know it with the Queen's heads on, is made by a machine. So what happens is when you create these promissory notes, you're actually creating the cash, alright? You're staying in on it. You're using the system against the system, it's that simple. They always thought that we would never figure this out, because they have made it complicated, and they have, alright? They've made it really hard. But the promissory note is Michael Talon's promissory note. Michael Talon turned around and said you can use this promissory note as long as you find the correct code to your country. And that's what Stuart did. It took him 6 months or 7 months to find the code. So we got the code. And the promissory note, what Michael Talon did, was written by solicitors. Right? You can watch the video of him and he'll tell you exactly the same. And you put your terms and conditions in it, you write it out, and you fill it out, put I pay this amount of months on this day of the month. The reason why that's there is that's because it's called a settlement. Right? You're staying in honour, that's what you're doing. You're staying in honour. So if they don't come to your house on that certain date, the debt is automatically discharged. They're now dishonoured because they haven't come to pick their money up. It's that simple. We know how contract laws go. If you don't, go look up contract law. You'll get the answer right there. Go look at the word dishonour. Go look at the words acceptance. Everything's there for a reason. Remember to read the Bills of Exchange Act 1888 Part 4. Read all of it, and then also read the full legislation of the Bills of Exchange. Read the Bills of Rights. Read the bank legislations. Read it all. You know, they do this for try and trick us. Now with the postal mechanics, yes, I use postal mechanics on every single documentation that I do because I want jurisdiction. 192 countries worldwide, and I want to be the postmaster of my documentations. So I'm based in the federal military. Some people believe, some people don't. And that's completely up to you. Once you do your research and you have your own understanding, and everything I say, I'll be telling the truth. I have no lies. I don't need to lie. I think I'm just going to sit here and lie out my ass. I'm here to help the people. You've got your three crowns. You've got your Vatican, the Bank of England, and Washington. The UCC in Washington is Commercial Code of Banking. Right? So when you put your postal mechanics on the paperwork, right, this is about the postal stamp. So when you've got postal mechanics on the paperwork, you've got jurisdiction in 192 countries worldwide. So that means the UCC codes now have jurisdiction on the paperwork under the Universal Postal Union Constitution. Right? I'm trying to make this really simple as I can. You have to go do your own research on this. I mean, I can sound amazing, but you won't gain anything from me speaking. You need to look for yourself. You need to get your own knowledge. I will be putting the UCC codes in the promissory note section as soon as I've done it. I'm getting on with it now. The promissory note's working at the moment, but I want to make it stronger. Obviously, you can buy Robin Blue egg pastel paper, sky blue. What the fuck you call it? I can't remember now. I use sky blue pastel paper. It was actually Robin Blue egg paper. That's what you use. Right? You have to buy that. It's expensive. It's £9 a cent sheet. Sky blue pastel paper you can buy. Obviously, I used to use 100 gram watermark paper for promissory notes. When you start there, then you start perfecting things. You start making things stronger. That's what it's all about. If people still want to use the white paper, you can use white paper. If you want to use the sky blue pastel paper, you can do. Now, when it comes to the stamps, a lot of people know there's a penny stamp way or a pound stamp. Now, I'll always use a £1 stamp for a promissory note.
No, I use a penny, mate.
It's a high number, it's a whole number. It's just got a bit more power, I think. You can use a 1p stamp. Obviously, you pay your stamp duty. I'll always feel comfortable with a pound. You can use a penny, you can. It's that simple. And when you put the stamp on the back of the promissory note, it clearly tells you the bills of exchange to endorse your paperwork. Now, how do you endorse your paperwork? Obviously, you'll put your name on the back or something. But with the postal mechanics, it says when you endorse your paperwork, you put a stamp on it, and write your name on it. That's how you endorse. So I was like, yes, you'll be doing that on the back of the promissory note.
Oh yeah.
Pound stamp on the back. Write your name for it. That's that done. It's now officially properly endorsed. Correctly. Now, once you start researching the postal mechanics and you start researching a little bit further, you'll actually start to notice things. You'll actually notice all the documentation being signed for stamps with a single birth certificate. Even the Beatles did it. They signed their names from the stamp. All of them. Why did they do that? Did they know something that we don't know? Of course they did. Before endorsing your paperwork, authority, postmaster, documentation, means nothing. Once those stamps are on there, fingerprints are on there, your thumbprint or your index, depending on what you do. You know? Nothing can be done to that paperwork. Nothing. If you do anything to that paperwork, you're in trouble. Right? It's that simple. So when you go to the post office and you just say to the lady behind the bar, they ain't got a clue what's going on. You put it in a brown envelope, one of those hardback ones, right? And you say, oh there, can you cancel the stamp please on this documentation? You don't have to whip the full thing out, you can just open it up and stamp that please.
I did at the
You know,
post office, mate.
half on the stamp,
I'll have
half
a look
on
at
the
it.
paper,
It was all intrigued.
yeah, no problem.
I had an
And send it
audience.
back to myself, especially for delivery. Right? So what's actually happening is, when you send it back to yourself, right, that means the post office has jurisdiction of your paperwork is the docs for authorities. Right? But what you're after is that postal stamp. Because that postal stamp is actually a postal court stamp. That's right. Post offices was a federal court. If you do your research further. Right? It's all there, black and white. You have to research, because you need to, you'll find your answers. Like I say, don't believe anything I say. Go research what I say. Then you will have your own understanding and your own first-hand knowledge, and you will see it with your own eyes, and you're like, no shit. Just like I was. So when it comes back to yourself, you take the tracking number off, place it underneath the £1 stamp right in the corner. You'll write your name through 45-degree angle, straight through. But I use a compound fact name, I don't use fiction. So when I say my name, the full colon is 2 little dots. So the full colon Joe, I title Joe, full colon Gallagher. It's a fact. So I write it through stamp, and also write through post stamp. Now that gives me jurisdiction of the post office, junction and paperwork. Right? I'll date it, and I will place my blue thumbprint on the tracker, right, on the stamp and on the cancellation stamp. So I've made joinder with all three, really powerful. The federal, you've got the highest jurisdiction promissory note in the land. So when I do the back, I'll write the name through it. It's as simple as that. I'm endorsing the paperwork. Also write the burning of proof out, handwrite it, right? Then documentation I'll bond together, right? Which is super building at the top left hand corner, and obviously I'll put my postal mechanics on the front, on the very last page, and there's 4 pages or 5 pages. Postal mechanics will go on the back page. Put stamps on the back, just everyone, stamps on it, that's completely up to you, right? And then I will put the promissory note in the envelope, brown envelope, hardback, and I will send it to whoever I'm paying. Now, send it to the council tax, finance companies, mortgages, whoever you want, completely up to you. But please do your research first, right? Make sure you get a full understanding of everything that's going on. I'm trying to make this as basic as possible. If I start rambling on deeper in that, I'm keeping it decent. I'll basically send bullet points of everything. Once you start researching people, honestly, the world's yours. But you're not committing no fraud. You're not committing any fraud whatsoever. You're actually you're actually using your own trust. And then people turn around and say, well, can I use a promissory note to pay myself? Yeah, of course you can. What about my friend? Can I use a promissory note to pay my friend and he pops into the bank? Yeah, of course you can. But you've got to know what you're doing. That's the thing. I mean, if you're going to send a promissory note to your mate, you're doing affidavit of truth, right? And you'll send your mate an affidavit of truth on the receipt. He will have filled out the promissory note, put 2 stamps on the back, one for him, one for you. We'll fill it all out, send it to you special court of delivery. Once you've done that, then you endorse the back. You've already given your bank details, so it's already on the bank promissory note. And then you send it to the legal department of the bank. Don't send it to the bank, send it to the bank. I'm still doing this myself, nearly there. So when we do the information, of course I'll be giving you. So I'm just in the stages of that at the moment, placing promissory notes with the bank. But the thing is, when you do a promissory note exchange between 2 friends or a business partner or a client or whatever, if I want money off of a friend or whoever, before I send them a receipt, and that promissory note out there, trust me, then they send it to me, so I'm the beneficiary of his trust, so I can take it out of his trust. The banks are just public servants, that's all they are. Banks are public servants to us. Me and my friend have created the promissory note, right? So we have a proper documentation with proper 2 endorsements of signatures on the promissory note. So technically, legally, that promissory note should be placed into the bank. Public servant drawing on the bank should place that into my account. It's not simple. But obviously, when you get deeper and deeper down these rabbit holes, let's say, you do have to start backing yourself up with paper. Because any slip-ups, it's not going to work. So you've got to make sure that you've got them on the back foot. And that's what stops happening. We're not committing any fraud, people. We're actually accessing our trust accounts. realise that you're accessing the trust account, because that's what exactly is going on with using promissory notes. What do you think mortgages are? Promissory notes. What do you think happens when they send you a gyro slip for your phone? You've already been paid. The government did it. Or after your payment, the trick is everything comes out of trust, but they don't tell you this. That's what I say. Don't believe anything I say. Research is what I say. If it's for you, it's for you. You know? That's what I'm saying. I've got my own shit to deal with myself. But if I can help people out along the way, that's what it's all about, helping the people. Now, some people might come in ignorant, you know, yeah. That's up to you. If you don't think it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Forget all about it. But if you research it and have a look, then it might just rock and you go, you know what? I doubted it at first. That's why he was full of shit. He's actually telling the truth. I've got no reason to lie. Now we've all been in this fantasy land of promissory notes. We've all been in this fantasy land of trust account and all this like, hell, does it mean I'm a man, I'm not fiction, blah blah blah. But when you start beating the system, remember the system is not corrupt. It's the people inside the system that have made the system corrupt. And I know I talk about Jesus all the time, I think it's the right thing to do. But like you say, Jesus came to whip the bankers. Came to whip the corruption. He didn't come to destroy the system. He came to destroy people inside the system. So that's what Jesus came to do. And that's what I come to do. I come to whip them bankers. Like I say many times. But please research. Just research. I know it hurts. Give up your time. An hour a week, 2 hours a week. Sure, you can spend 2 hours for a bit of studying. I do my best. I put the links there for you. So you can read them. All the government legislations. That's what I'm saying, people. Government legislations. So how's that? Hearsay. It's government legislation. Postal mechanics. Go check it out. The Universal Postal Union Constitution. That means you have to get off your ass, people. I'm going to do the work for you. Get off your ass. Go on the internet. You can look up PDF files of UPU, how it was for, what it does today, what it is, jurisdictions. You'll see it all in black and white. Everything. Absolutely everything's there for you to see. So once you start getting an understanding, you'll be like, ready for it now. That's what it's all about. So I say it sounds glamorous, but when you start getting your first wins, you'll be like, I'm ready now. Do it again. You can do it again. And the biggest one, like I said, I've done at the minute is 45,000. That's going to make Kev. I'm helping him with his case because he's a mate. So I'm actually helping. I'll be dealing with this case all the way to the end. And obviously the same with the two HMRC cases. I'm dealing with this all the way to the end. Because it's what friends do. You help them. But it's nice to see people actually use the function. 15,000 times that function has been downloaded now. So that's telling you something. I don't ask for anything in return. I'm not interested. All I'm interested is in the people growing this community, helping each other. That's what it's all about. And when people say, not paid my interest. Yes, I am. But now. Because I'm doing the right thing to do, like I say, doing God's way, helping the people. And when people say, can I buy your pipe? Can I buy it? Now, I have got a gesture. And this is my gesture. People want to give me a donation. My donation will be, you go buy a homeless man, that's it. Or a baby dog. That's my donation. So go do that. And if you do that, thank you very much. Just give them a cup of tea or make a and say that's what, yes. Thank you. That will make me happy. Right? That will make me happy. Because I know a lot of people don't want to give you donations. I don't want to. Just give it to the others. We're not below this one now. Something. That's what I'm saying. That made me happy. That made me happy with a good deed. I know that my good deed, people out there.
Been feeding the homeless for
That's
6
if you want
years,
to.
mate.
No, don't speak up to you.
Since
Just
we
like all the
started
arguments all the
overdrive.
time. People say, you for the owners. Have a good time. People what? I'll do better. But it is a roller coaster, people. It is a roller coaster. Like I said, there are a lot of people working behind the background. There's 4 of us now working behind the background. We've done this, that's what I'm saying. All the videos on the chat, Stuart's on the video, you know, explaining his court wins, what he did, etc., showing your paperwork and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying, what it's like. And just let you know, we're doing the council tax. Yeah. We're doing the council tax. So you can have that for me. Proper, step by step, how we did it. Alright? So you're going to see the full lot. You're going to see the box in it. If it goes through. So I'm saying, we do things. We don't just sit here and talk. We've done it. I've done the decks. That's what I've always done. I've always done the promissory notes. I've always done the HMRC. I've always done the catalogues, bank cards. That's my specialty. Beg them to take me to court. I know what to do in court. I know how court goes, but they'll text me. Even though I've begged them. We'll see how it goes. It's come to court this year. I'll be happy. Nice. Game on. It'll be a push off. But I've got the system. I know what to do. I keep giving you the information. I keep bringing you in. Just keep bringing you all the time. You choose to ignore it. You choose to ignore it. You think it's fake. You think it's fake. So you want to give the information. The more people win, the more I will sit here and show you people who win. It's what my promise we know. It's not my promise we know. It's our promise. That's how it goes. So, I hope this is a bit helpful. Covered up a few little things here, but like I say, I don't want to sit here and do an hour and a half video. That's why I give you the PDF files. You can do your research yourself. All the answers are here on the channel. Everything's here. It's like a little jigsaw. When you start from the bottom and you work your way up to the top, everything's there. You've got, you know, it's all making sense now. That's what I'm saying. We start making postal mechanics, jurisdictions, you know, promissory notes, this, that. And people are going to be confused. I don't know what's this. You will be confused. It is confusing. When you have to think that I felt. You know, that's what I'm saying. Everything's here. Take your time. Research about have an hour time, 2 hours, whatever time you've got free. Just watch videos, watch PDFs, blah blah blah, and then all the information will click into place. And then you'll be out there doing it yourself. There's a couple of comments on the proofread video. Who's done the promissory note? Who's worked for them? You know, happy days. Anyway, keep smiling, and I'll see you on the next one.
Always.
Till we get. This video basically going to beat the system. Smashing those assholes. Right at the bottom. Anyway, speaking to the gentleman, what an absolute pleasure speaking to him. Now, obviously I've got some new skills. Makes sense. Because I understand it, that's why I understand. So you've got to go do your research. But it was so simple for me to understand. Some of it. But I learned new tricks and training, as we all do. Like I said, it's all about learning. It's all about learning. That's what it's all about. So if you get people say, well, I'm better than you, that's not the thing to be. Right? We should all come together as a team. That's what we should do. And I'm very, very, very grateful for the conversation we've been having. Absolutely brilliant. Cool. So, it's all about playing games. It's all about telling them who's lost. Like I said, they think they're not. They think you've got no skills and knowledge and nothing. They just think we're absolutely stupid. And the others are told, well, we are very competent. Now, this is the letter. This is the letter. I'm going to put it in the link description below. You know me. Right, it says, notice to deceased, desist. That's what we do it. Notice to desist. And notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Master Gerard, Master, like the olden days, Master Gerard, like the women we call the mistress. You know, you used to go to a house, was the master of the house in, or was the mistress in? You know what I'm saying? It makes sense, it's absolutely fantastic. The Master Gerard beneficiary, I am the beneficiary, they're the trustees of the family Gallagher, like the property, obviously, my address, and this, obviously, my location, Grimsby, and the date, your records, the date. It says, to public servants holding of the utilities of corporate, yeah, debt collectors, water utilities, council tax. That's right, people, council tax. Parking tickets, you know, so it's corporate. I have received a document from your corporate company, a building with a name. Alright? So that's what they do. So when they send you a letter in the post, it's always the company, isn't it? It's always the company that's trying to deal with the matter. Well, we can't deal with a company, a building company, right? I'm saying, it's not going to say anything, is it? It's not going to say anything, so who's taking the money? No. The company, that's why they use it. They use it as a scapegoat. Because they think we're incompetent. They think we're stupid. They think we've got no skills. But we have. So, a building cannot represent itself. You know? It can't, do it? This is where it gets interesting. Claiming to be a bill, this isn't a bill, nor is it a true bill, as clearly stated. Wrong. We all know what a bill is, right? When you go to a restaurant, they make you food, they give you a bill. It's a breakdown of what you had. Correct? That's a bill. They don't give you a bill. Because it's fraud. So, here are some very simple questions for you to answer. This is for a man or a woman who is making the claim that I owe them cash amount. I will honour all contracts made with the man or woman who then bring the claim to I. So this is what I'm saying. So you don't want to deal with the building. You need to deal with a man or a woman who is making these accusations. That's what we need to deal with. You don't want to deal with the building. You need to be dealing with a man or a woman who is making these assumptions. Okay? So you'll give them some questions, some basic questions, and I think this is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to use this method all the time myself. Who is the man or woman making this claim? Do step forward. Do you see what I'm saying? So they're asking a question all the time. So they have to answer the question. They have to answer all the questions. Who is the man or the woman making this claim? Do step forward. So you've got to let through both. So now you're asking, who is making the claim? Okay? All you do is just flip it round, they ask you questions, just flip it straight back round, and you ask them questions. Question 2. The man/woman who is making the claim must provide full disclosure under the law of the original contract of the agreement, prepared third party signature, and bind I to this. So you're asking a man or woman to supply a signature of the third party. That's what you're asking for. Agreement, can you show proof of this claim and not a copy? That was actually part of the question. They're asking for proof of the claim. You're asking them to provide who's going to step forward and who is going to show you provided a real signature of the copy of the third party. You're not going to get it. But you've got that question too. So you make them feel uncomfortable. Their asses are going to shit it. Question 3. The man and woman making the claim must give full disclosure of their full name, pension, home, address, their employment number, and their tax number to fully ID them, and also the head of the CEO, full name. Who will be held under vicarious liability? Great, isn't it? The man and the woman making the claim must have full burden of proof, therefore I require a full disclosure by law upon an affidavit of truth that you are taking full personal and commercial liability sworn and signed under the penalty of perjury with a public notary signature and seal or 2 competent witnesses. I will always honour and discharge any true bill upon the proof of claim. However, I cannot discharge anything that has no proof of claim from a man or a woman. By law, you must answer all questions of court. You bring forth your claim, you have 7 days to reply. To answer the force of the question of court. Thus, there is no man or woman named upon this. Documents you sent are so by law, there is no lawful claim upon this document. Mr. Gerard. So that's basically what you're doing. You're asking them for proof of claim. So they're trying to claim against you with a fake building by using the building as a scapegoat. That is what they're doing. They think we're stupid. That's what they're doing. They think we're incompetent. Okay, that's exactly what they're doing. So you're just basically turning the table around on them. And you're now making them look stupid, right? Because you're asking very, very detailed questions. Now it's all about contracts. So if someone's making a claim, they need to provide proof of claim. And that is how it is. So someone has to take responsibility. I can't just go up to someone and send them a letter and just go, right, you're selling. I'm finding you and you need to be playing Gallagher House organisation. They're like, what are you? Hey? Who's this? I don't even know who it is. Shit me pants, do you know what I mean? And this is where you need to stop the comments. This is where you need to ask the questions. Questions are always followed by questions. Always followed by questions. You need to answer the questions. That's how it goes. So you can use this for everything. Absolutely use it for everything. I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's what I say. People, you get new information all the time. You know, I've done my best. You know, I have been smashing the system, don't get me wrong. I've been absolutely bashing the system in the ass, and I've been loving it. But it was like a different job in this paper, you know? And obviously, always take your postal mechanics on as well, so like that federal documentation as well. And don't get some special order delivery from the postal mechanic, so the post office has to take the paperwork and it's been doctored to authorities. Always remember that one. Alright? New to the channel, we'll check out the selections of videos on the channel and I'll show you how to do postal mechanic stamps, and I'll show you how to put paperwork together, and I'll also show you how to use pens. So, and that's how it is. That's how it is. Nice and simple. What like this letter, trust me. Nobody will write this letter. And that's what I'm saying, it's all about building a case. It's all about building a case when you've asked questions and ignored you. So you're taking their consent at the end of the day. So it's going to be reported in, ta-da, see you later, can't do anything. Absolutely nothing. If you ever went to court, always keep a copy of paperwork sent. You can take that paperwork to court and they'll have to answer your questions in court, won't they? Someone's got to take full responsibility for liability. That's the way it goes, people, with paperwork. I mean, I was on the same lines. I was on the same lines as this. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. And this deserves to get out there. I mean, I want to say his name, but he wants to stay out of the way, which I have to respect his decision. But he's a brilliant man, absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for bringing this to the channel and bringing this to the people. That's what it's all about helping people. Right then, people, remember, we're not incompetent, we are competent. See you soon. Bye now.
Notice of our withholding of council tax payments. Our reasons for withholding payment of council tax as per S13A of the Local Government Finance Act 1992. See www.legislation.gov. 1. The fact that there is a House of Lords judgment in force which resulted in the petitioning. The Queen under Chapter 61 of Magna Carta 1215 and 2001 by unlawfully constituted barons. Committee. We have transferred our allegiance to that committee until such time as a Constitutional Convention orders law-abiding subjects to resume their previous relations with Elizabeth Sachs Coburg Gotham. 2. The prohibition of the finance of terrorism contained in the Terrorism Act 2000. See a Taxpayer's Guide to Terrorism. Historic legal ruling. An extraordinary event occurred recently which could end Britain's involvement in war. In a remarkable legal judgment won on the definition of terrorism in the Terrorism Act 2000 in the UK. Supreme Court ruled that the military activities of the British government are terrorism. The legislation does not exempt, nor make an exception, nor create a defense for, nor exculpate what some would describe as terrorism in a just cause. Such a concept is foreign to the 2000 Act. Terrorism is terrorism, whatever the motives of the perpetrators. Terrorist action outside the United Kingdom which involves the use of firearms or explosives, resulting in danger to life or creating a serious risk to the health or safety of the public in that country, or involving, not producing, serious personal violence or damage to property, or design seriously to interfere with an electronic system, is terrorism. www.makewarshistory.co.uk. Paying tax is a crime when the money is used for the purposes of terrorism. When Parliament enacted the Terrorism Act 2000, it made it a criminal offense for a person to demand, collect, or pay money for the purposes of terrorism. Section 15 of the Terrorism Act. Fundraising. 1. A person commits an offense. A. Invites another to provide money or other property. B. Intends that it should be used, or has reasonable cause to suspect that it may be used, for the purposes of terrorism. 2. A person commits an offense. A. Receives money or other property. B. Intends that it should be used, or has reasonable cause to suspect that it may be used, for the purposes of terrorism. 3. A person commits an offense. A. Provides money or other property, and B. Knows or has reasonable cause to suspect that it will or may be used for the purposes of terrorism. 4. In this section, a reference to the provision of money or other property is a reference to its being given, lent, or otherwise made available, whether or not for consideration. We have reasonable cause to suspect that funds gathered by the Crown in the form of taxation are being used for the financing of terrorism, and that this includes a portion of council tax. I therefore have no lawful option but to withhold it. 3. We have reason to suspect that Ashford Council is cooperating with the United Nations, a foreign potentate in respect of UN Agenda 21 and sustainable development. Such cooperation is forbidden by the Bill of Rights. Unlawful implementation of UN Agenda 21. UN Agenda 21 Sustainable Development is a global plan that is implemented locally, but payments for this come from our local council tax. That means UN Agenda 21 is implemented by Tenard Town, Ashford Borough, and Kent County Councils. Since the application of UN Agenda 21 Sustainable Development means sending local cash to a UN NGO outside of this country and involves infringements of our common law rights and therefore law Definition attacks our sovereignty as treasonous. Money is wasted on UN Agenda 21 in many areas. For example, on carbon monitoring, which is rooted in the fraud of global warming, a ruse that has been exposed not least because there has officially been no rise in temperature in the world for 20 years. UN Agenda 21 sustainable development has not been debated locally, not reported on air, has been applied by stealth. There has been no global warming for nearly 20 years. www.dailymail.co.uk Science Tech article 2,740,788 global warming pause 19 years data reveals Earth's temperature remained constant 1995. 4. Ashford Council should apply to the Treasury for lawful money to fund all activities. There is no need for a council tax to be raised. Finance for public expenditure of all kinds should be by debt-free money and amounts authorized by Parliament to avoid inflation and created by the sovereigns. Lawful exercise of the common law royal prerogative. This was last done to save the nation at the beginning of the Great War in 1914. The Treasurer Secretary, whose name appeared on the notes, was John Bradbury. There is a substantial campaign to restore lawful Bradbury power. 5. Subversion by common purpose. Sedition is a common law criminal offense. Here is a definition of sedition: conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Local taxes are used to pay a political charity, common purpose, which has an international, communitarian agenda to teach people to lead beyond their authority. Common purpose is also about bringing change that is deep, sustainable, complex change to be applied locally and internationally. See Sevilla Financial Report. They do not tell us what change this is, and so we have not voted for it, nor have we discussed it. Here is a quote from Common Purpose website. Under the subheading, Why do we resist change? Recognizing behaviors such as denial, anger, confusion, stress, crisis, acceptance, and new confidence can often allow you to anticipate and overcome objections, getting you ahead of the curve. From the same item, your capacity to lead change, not just manage it. It is therefore hidden change, being done behind the voters' backs by a political charity, which is subversion being committed by a private organization through local government. 6. Electromagnetic radiation. Mobile phone masts all over the county of Kent, including Tenterden. We live in a soup of electromagnetic radiation. This is dangerous against all measures of health and safety, and has been allowed by the council. That means health and safety are not doing their work, and the council is operating against the interests of the people in the town. See the document, which is available on the internet, entitled Studies, Health Effects of Electromagnetic Radiation and Microwaves. 7. Promotion of fascism. Fascism is by definition government working in cahoots with business. The council is involved in promoting the interests of some people more than others. An example is the refusal by the council for Mr. Ho to be allowed to build a warehouse, which would be organic economic development at a truly local level, and yet against the wishes of the people of Tenterden and the vast majority of people in the Chilmington Green area. The council gave the go-ahead for huge corporations, subsidized by our taxes, to build houses. This happened when the council is legally bound to represent the best interests of the people, which it clearly did not. And so, council is breaching all relevant laws and codes of conduct and is promoting what is unfair against the interests of the individuals and is against the British Constitution. 8. Displaying EU flag in the Borough Council chamber. This EU flag suggests who the council works for, an international organization that has not been audited and is used to undermine our Constitution. Some say that this flag is the flag of the Council of Europe, not the European Union, but the Council of Europe is behind the European Court of Human Rights, which undermines our Constitution. This flag must be removed. 9. Self-defense, which, as you know, reverses the burden of proof onto the Crown to prove otherwise. I submit that since I have reasonable grounds to believe that a proportion of council tax, in the form of VAT on goods and services expended by the council, for example, goes to central government, I am entitled, as noted above, to withhold payments as an act of defense of my life, liberty, and property. 10. As I have stated before, you have a legal obligation to place my application before the billing authority. not take the matter straight to enforcement. Your action in respect of issuing a summons is unlawful and void. A void order does not have to be obeyed because, for example, in Crane v. Director of Public Prosecutions 1921, it was stated that if an order is void ab initio from the beginning, then there is no real order of the court, because of your failure to comply with a statutory requirement, S.13 Upjohn L.J. and Re Pritchard, 963-11. It is not lawful for local councils to levy taxes without it being debated and passed in Parliament, which does not happen. Hence, council tax is along the same lines as a protection racket. CR v. Hampton below. In our v. Hampton, ship money case, 1637, 3 State TR 826, it was held by 7 judges out of 12 that the king could levy ship money. The Long Parliament subsequently passed an act declaring writs imposing ship money and the proceedings inter versus Hampton super contrary to the laws and statutes of the realm, the right of property, the liberty of the subject, and the petition of right, and vacated and cancelled the judgment. See the Ship Money Act 1640, repealed. Parliament's consent to a power to demand payment must be expressed in clear terms. Congreve v. Home Office, 1976. QB 629, 1976. 1 ER 697. CA, the Home Secretary's discretionary power to revoke a television license could not lawfully be used to compel the citizen to pay an additional license fee which was not clearly authorized by statute. By reasonable accommodation. Council tax. Is there an obligation to pay? First of all, the word obligation. At some point in time, approaching 800 years ago, we created a word which we understand to represent our binding pledge. A commitment that we freely make to fulfill a promise or meet the conditions of a contract. A quick glance at the dictionary will inform you that an obligation is a moral or legal requirement or duty. The act of obligating or the state of being obligated. A legally enforceable agreement to perform some act, especially to pay money, for the benefit of another party and so on. It is a legal bond by which one or more parties, the obligated, are bound to act or indeed to refrain from acting. In short, it defines what it is that we must or must not do, and that in essence is a contract. How do we make a contract? Simply put, a contract is made by the mutual consent of 2 or more persons. There is an offer and an acceptor. This act of contract is made by people consenting to be contracted by their own free will. You cannot be forced into a contract against your will. By this contract our duties, rights and obligations are created. No one can create these duties, rights and obligations without our agreement. That would be an act of force and is unlawful. What this boils down to is that no one person, throughout the entire kingdom, has entered in any contract with their local district council. At no point has anyone ever entered in any contract, and nor has anyone ever agreed to pay them. There does not exist any duties, rights or obligations. It is an illusion. To put it another way, no person can create an obligation for another person. It is preposterous to suggest otherwise. Just imagine a world in which we can bind one another to a contract without their permission. That is, however, precisely what your local council is doing when they send you your bill. That you choose to pay their claim has always been left entirely up to you. Or to put it another way, if I send you a bill, will you just pay up? Of course, I could turn up at your house and threaten you if you don't, which is not dissimilar to the action of our local councils. It is time for this farce to stop. It is past time that we stop sending our hard-earned money to organizations that have long stopped acting in our interest. How many answers to these questions are no? 1. Did you sign a contract to pay? 2. Did you make a promise to pay? 3. Did you verbally agree to pay? 4. Did you give your voluntary consent to pay? 5. Did you request any services? 6. Are you given a choice not to pay? 7. Is being forced to pay fair? 8. Is it right that you are coerced and forced into paying? 9. Have you been informed of any terms and conditions? 10. Without T&Cs, can you hold the council accountable? No contract. No obligation. Legislation, acts of Parliament use force to make claims upon us. However, they are neither proof of claim or authority over us. The only thing they provide is proof of force. The Council must prove an obligation to pay, but can never produce it. All acts require consent to be given the force of law. They are merely rules and regulations. They are not law. There is no law requiring anybody to pay tax of any kind. The dispute is with the following part of legislation. The Council is under a legal obligation to prove that we are under an obligation to comply with the Council's command, as detailed in Section 34(6) of the Council Tax Administration and Enforcement, Regulations 1992, which requires the Council to satisfy the courts the following two presumptions. 1. The sum has become payable by the defendant UA. 2. That any obligation has not been paid. Therefore, the burden of proof is on the Council to prove the obligation exists. There has never been an obligation to pay. Now is the time to settle this claim once and for all. So, we have the right to withhold our payment until the Council prove our obligation to pay. No. 1. No liability order. 2. No due process of law. 3. No oral agreement. 4. No written agreement. 5. No pre-action protocol for debt. 6. No letter of claim. 7. No right to claim what rightfully cannot be claimed. 8. No lawful excuse. 9. No right of enforcement. 10. No meeting of minds. 11. No duties, rights, and obligations created. 12. No contract signed. 13. No proof of obligation.
You're a big boy. Can't keep up with a fucking Roger Couch. Oh guys, that's all lawful rebellion. I hope you understood the last video. On with CCS collect, passed on from the DVLA, and like I said, I wrote some more letter. I rung them up first, explained what's going on. Well, I've got no contract, you were saying by interloper that if you send me any more bills I'm going to bill them back. I've not received a letter, or have I? I think I have. I received another letter. That's when I rung them up actually. Wrote them a letter back and sent it back in the envelope with a bill and my terms and conditions to offer them contracts if I want to sign one. And like I say, I've had 2 texts from them in 2 weeks. It scares them off, guys. Even if you're going to pay it or pay the original debtor, DVLA, 80 quid for what? What crime have I committed? That's what their letter will be saying. Now I did ring DVLA up and she was right a snotty bastard. Write a letter, that's what I got. Well, what if I can't write look? You're a fucking public servant that should have been dealing with me. Let me explain my case instead of being a snotty little bastard. So they've passed it on. So I've been a snotty little bastard and wrote them a letter. Pass it back to the DVLA. Let them contact me. You've got my phone number. how I see it, guys, we're the boss, we're the creditor. They want our money, we're the creditor, we're the boss. Same as British Gas. What do? They're a broker. They're not the boss. They don't provide you anything. They supply Shell, Centrica, and whoever else, the pipes and the meters. So I don't want to pay British Gas. Let me go direct with fucking Shell or BP. Let me get a discount for the hassle that they've caused. Oh, it's not the policy. Well, change your policy. It's simple, isn't it? Well, my policy is not pay you, robbing bastards. That's overcharge me anyway. You double my bill. What it should be. Clowns. But all my stuff what I'm doing is all on hold at the moment because my house has been like a building site for a few weeks. All my paperwork stacked in one pile, ready to be sorted out, and then after that I might start sorting things out. But I've had 11 years of taking it easy, doing what I want. Never been to prison. A few years ago, it will be 6 years ago, I had a company called Jacobs on me back from the council tax, threatening to take all the furniture away. Then they wrote me a letter saying what day they was coming with 3 white vans. Come round. All you have to do is hire a fucking removal firm, a local removal firm, white man with a white van, come to a deal with him, can you store this for 24 hours? Let them come round. I honestly don't think they came round. If they did, they looked in the window and saw it was an empty shell. All I left myself was a portable TV. 2 sofas you have to take the window out. So that wasn't going to happen, was it? Oh, I've just missed my fucking turn off, I think. Oh, hell. I better pull that on, because I don't look at me sat nav, I just concentrate on the road. I might look down to my other phone and change the music or whatever I'm watching, or listening to, I should say, because I don't really watch it. Trying it a different way. I've just never paid it. I've gone to court, paid me 60 quid court costs. Last year, I think it was last year or the year before, I think I paid 100 quid. That was to keep the council off me back for a while and cancel the court costs. Because it's a made up court anyway. Bullshit call. I've not heard anything from the council tax since I mentioned I was going to I want the name of the judge. They couldn't give me it. Oh, you'll have to ring up the courts. No, you sent me to court, you should know the name of the judge. Just give me it so I can contact him. See what punishment they gave me. Because it's not like years ago with the council tax. Council tax was a proper judge in a proper court. Well, it was the one I went to. And he fucking shouted at me. I'd just come home from sea that day with 7 grand in my pocket. whoever it was at the side of me. I pulled this fucking wedge out, it was falling on the floor. I said £100 for it. He gave me a week to pay the council tax, and I didn't pay it. I didn't really have to, because I was off to sea in a couple of days. What are we going to do? Get an helicopter? Fucking airlift me off? We used to sail to Holland, from Grimsby to Holland, stay at Holland for a while, and then go back. So they wouldn't know when I was coming until the very last day, when the captain reports into the harbour. Well, I got away with locks, and if it happened again, I'd go back to sea. Fuck 'em. I'd blockade my house, double lock it, and I'd bugger off back to sea. Catch me if you can. In fact, this is a true story. When I was fishing after the car crash, so it was a couple of years
After 1.2 miles, take the exit 49A168 towards Thirsk.
That's where we're going. Yeah, the friend who had brain damage, his solicitor, because my solicitor had fucked my case up, so I didn't get a penny. So my mate's solicitor who had brain damage, his solicitor tried getting hold of me. Well, I'm at sea. I'm sailing to Scotland at the time. I was patrolling. And we was going on Scotland. And they couldn't track me down. They got hold of me mum and everything else. Went to where I lived. Couldn't track me down. So they got a private investigator on to me. And we're going to Scotland, going to the other places like.
After 800 yards, take the exit 49A168 towards Thirsk.
Yeah, no, you just said that, mate.
Take the exit 49.
Yes, this private investigator finally collared me, and I was at sea. It was in the middle of the North Sea. He must have got hold of the captain on the big set on the radio, because I know we went to we was going to Scotland, Scraps to our theatre. I think it was theatre or Wick, one of them. Tip of Scotland anyway. Got called to go on a big set. Told me I'm private investigator, like you fucking ass nips, fucking hell. Yeah, can I arrange to meet you in so and so pub at so and so time? I think it was Wick. Oh yeah, good, come on, yeah. So we'd landed, time off, roughly about dinner time. Went to the pub, met this bloke. There's only a couple of us in the pub. Met this bloke, private investigator. Wanted me to do something with my mate's claim so he could get £250,000. So I had to go back to Grimsby when we finished the trip up north. Went to see Peterson and Gibbon. I think that's who my mate's solicitor was. Some dodgy dealings in his little office. Can't say too much. But the corrupt as a fucking government. Solicitors. In fact, the day say he wanted me to do 7 years. That's for perjury. Another reason why I can't get a claim. Because you know what you're like when you're 17-year-old. You're in hospital with a driver. Get the gist. I'm saying no more on that
exit A167 towards Alton.
Your solicitor's fucked up. Your mate's worth £250,000. If you write a statement in his office, we'll look after you. So I weighed the pros and cons up like you do being 17, thinking £250,000 with mate, I should get about 40 grand at least. So I helped him out. We don't speak. Met him down the street one day, a few years later probably. Said, yeah mate, fucking hell, I owe you something, don't I? Well, fucking nice one. I said, come to the bank with us. I went, no, you alright, Carl? No, I insist.
After 800 yards, take the exit A167 towards Dalton, then, at the end of the road, turn right.
Okay. We was good mates still at this time, I said, mate.
Take the exit, then,
2
at
years
the
ago.
end of the road, turn right.
It's history, mate. Forget about it. No, I insist, he says. So I went to the bank with him. I'm not a greedy person. I would have been happy with a grand. He's just got £250,000.
At the end of the road, turn right, A167 towards Alton.
I think he got 240.
Turn right.
Something like that. Well, that wasn't meant to happen. Like a sugar sliding across the cap. Well, he broke our friendship, that guy, that day. Went to the bank with him. No word of a lie, he went to the hole in the wall and withdrew a tenner.
Follow A167 towards south for 3 miles.
Yeah, he withdrew a tenner. Gave me back. No fucking bother, mate. Don't really speak to him now. I've seen him once or twice in all these years. I'll say hello. Went through a big ordeal with him. He was going to be a professional boxer, that lad. He was fucking awesome. He could virtually stand on his feet, bent backwards, and his head would be nearly touching the floor. It was impossible to hit. It was so whippy and bendy, it was unbelievable. We all used to box in his back garden when we was kids. Big gang of us, all taking turns whacking each other. Gloves on as well, like you do, because he wanted to be a boxer. Crazy world. Don't see the driver, won't even talk to him, won't even say hiya, won't even recognise him. I didn't like what he did. He smashed that car up, fucking all our lives up, killed one of us, and then he goes out and buys a Capri. Thought, no mate, you give it a year or 6 months, I know you get straight on the bike, and if you fall off you get straight up and that, but you don't buy. He had a fucking 1 litre bastard mini metro in the crash. Buys a 2 litre fucking Capri. He won't capable of driving the fucking mini metro.
After 1.2 miles, take the exit 49A1M towards Boroughbridge.
Well, you know how kids are when you're in a gang, and I was in a gang. I was a gang member of about 50 of us when I was that age. Had my initiation and everything. So you can imagine what a gang of blokes, well, you call us all blokes, because virtually are. A gang of fucking lads
200 yards, take the exit 49A1M towards Boroughbridge.
Like I say, if there's any young kids watching
Take the
this,
exit 49.
like I say, if there's any young kids watching this, and your mates in you in a car and your mates speeding, tell them, because it does happen to anybody. Our tyre blew. That's how we fucking ended up crashed.
After 300 yards, go right on the roundabout, second exit A168 towards Boroughbridge.
Oh, we've got 3.5 miles to go.
Go right on the roundabout, second exit.
20 minutes early. Fucking mini. I should have straddled both them lanes really, but Ripon race course. Oh, freaking take it, Mini. Fuck's sake. Too late now, aren't you? Oh, my Mini don't do fucking 70 mile an hour. I'll take it on a bend. Well, this is going to be a long vid. I wasn't intending to do any long vids this week. Save the internet. I got a stack of fucking 1 hour, 2 hour.
After 500 yards, turn left, Highfields Lane.
When? Now? Now? Could have done with it actually. I need a week.
Turn left.
Norton Limore. Oh, Martin Limore, Norton Licklin. Where are we going?
At the end of the road, turn left, Highfields Lane.
A13. Never heard of it.
the end of the road, turn left, Boroughbridge Road.
Just gives a lay-by down in the neighbourhood.
Turn left.
Well, we're nearly here, folks. I think it's that big green building, maybe not.
After 300 yards, turn right, North Hill Road, then you have reached your destination.
That might be that. Might be that big green building I can see.
Turn right, then you have reached your destination.
A1, yeah. Bingo. Where do we go? Soon they won't be on the weighbridge.
After 200 yards, you have reached your destination.
When's this then? I ain't got a clue where I'm going, guys, so I'll catch you all in a bit. Well, we don't have far to go, guys. Pull in the middle. Job's a good one. Right, guys, I'll catch you all later. Oh, some nice new firewood there.